Hey, shalom, shalom. We're about to go do a mic check and a video check to make sure everything is good. So give us 1 second to make sure everything is good. All right, I'm hearing something. We good? We solid? You good, Arala? Then, yeah, Arala, you good?
God, I'm going to open with scripture. This is Jeremiah 49:10, and it reads, "But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, his brethren, his neighbors, and he is not." Oh, Lord, how about you, Mama Shai? Yeah, we want to give all praise and honor unto you. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors to the elder bishops. Salutations to all our fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. You know, to the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth among the heathen that look like the heathens, and to the few who go after the listen and learn, we give a true and hearty shalom. Yeah, these Edomites, a lot of them know that their time is up, you know, and a lot of them are ashamed of themselves. You know, what they refer to as critical race theory, and it isn't theory; it's critical race. That's your history, man. You know that book, Without Sanctuary. That isn't theory.
That's right.
That isn't a book full of theory.
You know, or conjecture.
That's right. That's a book full of facts.
That's right.
Things that you did, man. As a matter of fact,
can I get this while you're getting that?
Go ahead, bring out whatever you
got. This is Revelation 12:12. Therefore, rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
Elder, they got that doomsday clock.
Yes, sir.
India don't got a doomsday clock. China don't got a doomsday clock.
You're absolutely correct.
The only people who got a doomsday clock is these Edomites here in America.
That's right.
They know they got a short fucking time, man.
That's right, Elder. That's right. And they know, like the elder said through the title of the lesson, it's almost over. When you know it's almost over, you know what you're going to do? Throw the kitchen sink at them. Think about any sports team. If you think about the basketball, football, baseball, whatever, if the other team who's losing, I don't care what sport it is, in the latter innings or the latter stage of the game, you know what's going to happen? The other team trying to come to win is going to empty the bench. They're going to throw in the utility player. They're going to throw the extra player. They're going to throw in the kitchen sink. Why? Because they're going to do anything to get a chance to fight. Esau now is doing whatever he can do to try to win, and nothing what he's going to do.
Yeah.
He's going to be available.
Staged events left and right.
That's right.
And I still believe that something's going to happen over the next couple of days or so.
Okay.
You know, I pray it be so.
So he talking about 2 days ago. It's supposed to gas supposed to shoot up the Sears town.
Well, you had that.
Yeah.
Con. But now there's a threat that's came in, you know, from to Homeland Security or whoever, and it's basically saying that Iran and I think Turkey together plan on doing a strike against America for revenge for Soleimani. Remember how how that year started off with the death of Soleimani, and you know, and said they said that they want to actually they plan on killing Donald Trump and Mike Pence. So that basically, and then you when you start putting everything together, and then they had that warning at what happened in the warning in New York about the nuclear thing, and then
the Georgia Guidestones got blew up. New Jersey got the radiation shit.
Then you got this thing on the $100 bill and on the $10 bill. It's all supposed to happen around this time because the $100 bill actually, if you fold it a certain way, how the $20 bill after 20 hours, the $100 bill actually has a tidal wave or tsunami coming through New York, just like in that scene in that movie. It literally looks identical to it. And then there's something else with the $10 bill, I forget. But nevertheless, they're basically they're setting up for a false flag event to blame it on somebody else.
It's funny that you say that because even Dabu, when he had said something about the whole nuclear commercial, the PSA announcement from New York, it was like, first of all, why would a third world, a nuclear superpower come and do some little small event? If they're going to come do an event,
they would just do it.
They'll do a big event.
Yeah.
They're not going to do no little small shit. But Esau always, if you look at his track record, from the tungsten thing that started Vietnam to the bullshit that happened with
to their earliest,
Japan,
beginnings.
Yeah.
You go all the way back to the Boston Tea Party.
And
And I always bring out the fact
That's true.
that then that also, that got blamed on Gad,
Exactly.
and then that gave Esau licensing, and so these guys
But it was all Esau.
were getting clubbed to death, stabbed, shot, and murdered for a false event that they had nothing to do with.
That Esau set up himself.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
So
true.
it served a dual
That's it.
purpose.
That's it. That's it.
But anybody holding scripture?
I got a couple.
Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, so along with all of the prophecies that's going on in the world today that gives you the signs of the times and the understanding that this thing is over with, and here it is, like the elder was saying, these heathen, you have certain of them that know that it's almost over and it's going down as well. But here's another telltale sign or prophecy that's left that the scriptures talk about, that you would understand and know that we're in the end, the very end, not the beginning of the end, all right, which was over 2,000 years ago when our Lord and Savior was on the scene.
Cut to Earth and Bernie. Go ahead.
Right. but also even much more now. All right, are we at the end of the end? Not even the last few days, we're the last few seconds now,
That's it.
right? So this is Matthew 24:14, and it says, "And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come." So here, this gospel, this good news, this truth, which in 2nd Esdras 6:28 says, "It shall be so long without fruit." And it was so long without fruit because the Most High had allowed Esau, Edom, to go around the world deceiving. That was a part of the blessing of Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, the wicked, according to the Bible. That was part of their blessing, to go around and be able to deceive. And so here it is, not only deceive the Israelites, which
Their
was,
own people,
but,
and everyone else too.
Yep, but their own people and all these heathen nations. And so here it is, they seeing that they have got sold fool's gold, you know what I'm saying? And so they coming out with all this information and letting you know the true agenda of these elites, which ultimately is to get to a one world order, a new world government in wickedness, all right, where they, Dorito chip everyone so they can play God and keep track and
give you what one brother refers to as the BAM.
the BAM. Okay, yep.
You
And
walk
so-
the BAM.
so-
I fuck
yeah.
with that.
So all these things, all these things are happening, and they see it. But again, like it says in all this Revelation 11:11, because we just read how that in that Matthew, this gospel shall be preached around the whole world, then shall the end come. So this is Revelation 11:11. It says, "And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them," all right, to now remember themselves, all right, and to receive their measure of faith and understanding, and then go propagate the word of God in truth, all right. And we talked about it yesterday at camp, of how the Lord said to the disciples when they asked of him, "Hey, will thou at this time, all right, restore the kingdom back?"
Right.
But the to Israel, but
They
the
were
Lord,
ready then.
exactly. See, but the Lord replied to them saying that, well, it's not, that's going to happen, basically. You know what I'm saying? But when it's not given, that when it's going to happen is not given. But he goes on to say that, oh no, you're going to witness, in Judea and Samaria and to the uttermost parts of the earth. And we went into that word uttermost part, where it talks about the last, basically the
stature.
Yeah.
But it's in multi levels though. One was in like in time, place,
and time and place.
but then it's also in, like he said, in worth too. He's like, you're the last, like he said, the last of the last, it's gonna be just like the worthless. And I'm like, well, damn, you go to the ends of the world, you can go to California, and it was like Californication,
right.
and how they're just the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
And that song, Rich, it said the sun may rise in the east, but it's up in the final location. They know this is the end of this shit.
They know
West
it's
Coast.
almost over. That's why they're putting in their media as well, because they know.
Right. And so,
Yeah, how many commercials? Remember that commercial that came out a couple years back where they were showing the destruction and the chariots were beaming up Jake and they all had on certain tennis shoes or something.
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
It was for the Super Bowl.
Right.
And the only people getting beamed up was Jake. You know, so they know it's coming, man.
Yep. Oh, finish this Revelation 11:11. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from God entered into them, and they stood upon their feet. All right, goes into that wisdom of Solomon. With the men stood stiffly. All right, to speak this word in the face of our enemies that has lied to us. All right, it says, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. All right, so here it is. We are speaking this truth. All right, and great fear is coming upon those that has been lying, the elites and these different underlings to the elites that know what's up, and so even under, way under them, you have a lot of people that's, man, just spitting out truth, man, and spitting out what's going on, whether it be, geoeconomically, geopolitically, all these things according to the prophecies. All right, they're letting it out, man.
Even referring to history.
Yeah,
like I was explaining how, before we went live, that I was with a client that's been my client for many, many years. And her brother, she has two younger brothers that are twins, and they were there with all, basically it was like a party at they great big old abode out there in Highland Park. And her siblings were there, and then, and the name Hercules came up. We were breaking down, I started breaking down history about that. And how Hercules wasn't a white guy at all, and they weren't shocked. And then I even showed them the proof. I showed them the evidence of the vases, that were left behind in Greece. And when there's a certain vase of him slaying a bunch of priests, and he's just this gigantic black dude. And then you see all these other Greek soldiers, these real Japhetic people, that are running to the aid of the priest. Right, and that's the one.
Which one? This one here or this one?
I think it's that one there on the other, and I think it's on the other side of it.
This one right here,
because there's multiple sides to that.
Cut.
But it's definitely one of those pieces that look like that.
Mm-hmm.
When he's destroying them on it. But anyway, when they looked at that, and then they just started coming with it. My client's sister-in-law started crying how she hates all the lies and all the unfair people who've been wronged in the past, and woo up the bam, and history hasn't been. It's definitely one of those. It's from that series of.
See now, so this is perfect. If I may,
it's from that series of artifacts.
Do you see this here? Do you see they got here on this picture, whitish looking people, all right? But then you're looking on other pictures, you see blackish looking people. This black person right here,
even see the
dragging down a so-called white person. That lets you know they could. If this was a so-called white person, that would have been white too, as they have this is white. As you see, this is so-called black, and you see this is so-called white. They were showing you.
Look at the hair and the features on that.
Yes.
One, see, even on that one, if you could zoom in on it, you can clearly see when you look at up close. Not the smaller ones got woolly hair. All right, but that's neither here nor there. The point is that they start admitting that they know the history has been fabricated, that they're aware that there's been a lot of lies that have been told about certain time periods, and the little girl was sitting there with her mouth open, and she's like, "Why, Daddy? Why would they do that?" And then her father, Gavin said, "Hey, it's racism, honey." That's what he told his little girl. He said it was just racism and hate, and people trying to make history to fit their agenda, their narrative, you know, and he tried to quote Napoleon Bonaparte when he said that history is the agreed upon lies by the victors, basically. You know, it's pretty much the same with something like that.
I gotta
Bring it out, brother.
This is Jeremiah 16:19. O Lord, my strength and my fortress, and my refuge in the day of affliction. The Gentiles shall come unto thee from the end of the earth, and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity and things wherein there is no profit. Now, of course, ultimately, he's talking about actually us, that was once Gentiles, but the scriptures are manifold. Like you said, the wisdom of Solomon in the 7th chapter. So even the heathens, they come into the realization that they've inherited lies. The things they've been following, what was taught, you know, have been lies, man. And they know it. You know, even just regular young Edomites, like that dude, I mean, that little girl father didn't even lie to her, told her straight up, because this is what we did. And they know that. All right, Edom knows that, man. This is James 2:19. Thou believes that there is one God. Thou believes that thou believes that there is one God. Thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble. So Esau know. Hey, look, that's why when the elder brother Yaakov read that revelation, it said we stood upon our feet. They had great fear, because when we coming out, they know what we teaching is the truth. Esau has done diligent research. He's excavating all the. We went through the scriptures. So okay, well, this is what his land must be. He went and excavated it. They found the wall of Jericho. They tested the wall that was left, the western part. I believe it was the west wall. They saw a window. They saw the fabric hanging in the window. They found all this stuff, man. So Esau knows the truth. Right. So like it says, the devils believe and tremble.
God, it's like that one dude that I used to watch, and I don't see his videos anymore. I think they got rid of him. They might have unalived him. He was brother something. He was a reform. Oh, and her father said it's called revised history.
That's it.
And so like you have revised books. But
that's why they do revisions every so often.
That dude I'm talking about, he was called brother something. He came out with a lot of bangers years back, and that's actually how I found out about Fort Antonia. Through watching, I heard him say something, and then I went and looked it up and researched it, and I did a video on it, and then Elder Ramla, Apostle Ramla went in on it hard, not a short time after that. But basically, like you said, they do all these excavations. They know, like the Wailing Wall, right? Because you know they could, you know, just tell me when I go back there, I'm gonna put a note in the wall for you and pray. I'm like, nah, I'm good. But there is no scripture in the Bible. Can any brother find me the scripture in the Bible that speaks about praying at the Wailing Wall?
It's not so.
I can find a verse where it says no stone will be left.
You know what?
That sounds about right. And see, that's just it. It said there will be no stone left of the temple. So, and then you find out that they at this Wailing Wall, dry humping the wall, all right, with a hat on. Right. And then you find out that wall is not even, you know, anything that had anything to do with the temple. It was a place. I think it was either the 10th Legion or the 13th Legion that was housed there, a Roman Legion. Yeah.
And then the elder Nugget had posted a video a while ago.
Speak up, brother.
The elder Nugget had posted a video, and I don't think the brother seen it.
I got it right here.
About
1925.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah. I'll put it up on the screen because I thought about that earlier.
It showed you Israel in 1925,
right?
And then they added color to it. You know how they got technology now where they can take old black and whites. That's also how you prove that the Native Americans were so-called Negroes. That's it. Because that brother Cootie Merrill, he started using that he was finding these old images from the 18 and the 1700s and add color to them. And you know, and Gad looked just like you.
Yeah.
You know, as far as their skin was concerned. But while you getting that, I'm gonna play.
I just want to put in Wailing, and not one that says Wailing Wall.
No scripture.
No, out of 16 times you see the word wailing. Now, one time is this Wailing Wall or anything about a fucking wall.
Right. So you know the scriptures say don't add unto, don't take away.
Okay, they add.
You know, and then in Romans 15:4, you know, these things are written in the past, were written for our knowledge. So there's no scripture that tells us to go hump a wall. and pray for somebody.
No,
Yeah,
I didn't
I
see.
didn't think so.
I'll put wall in just to show for sure. But that 0 versus a wailing and wall. 0.
You don't play that 1925.
There's the evidence. Well, I'm gonna play this first.
You know what? I'm gonna see if I can
This
find
is
it.
something that when we talk about Esau knowing his history, this video is called some more ugly history that Europeans want to hide. Turn off? Yeah, I didn't use it. That's why I did that.
Was an uprising by the Kikuyu.
There we go.
By the Kikuyu people who wanted their land back. The Kikuyu were herded into concentration camps and fortified villages, almost the entire population of over 1 million people.
This is in South Africa.
Systematically tortured to death. They invented a new kind of pliers whose purpose was first to crush men's testicles and then to cut them off. They raped women with bayonets. They raped men. Similarly, a favourite technique was to ram sand up the rectum with a stick. Sometimes they were rolled up in barbed wire and kicked around the compound until they bled to death. Some of the British soldiers boasted about this. This is within living memory. The Colonial Secretary lied about it. The papers documenting it were burned. The impact of the rich and powerful nations has been so phenomenally murderous and destructive that it has been completely airbrushed. For the Second
Yeah,
World
so
War.
that was pretty sick. I'm gonna send that. I'm gonna send that to you. But yeah, but it's funny. This happened at the same time that people were doing the Holocaust, but there's no record of this.
Of course not.
All right, there's no, and no one's hunting down these men, and they were showing the faces of some of the soldiers. Nobody's hunting down these old men. He said that was done, and a lot of these people are still alive. And no one is, bringing these people to court and throwing them in jail in the last moments of their life when they're in their late 90s. Tell them you can go to jail for the rest of your life for what you did, to Anne Frank.
That guy again. That 101 guy that gave him 5 years. And shit.
Right, because he was a prison guard. You can give a 97-year-old dude 5 years in prison because he was a prison guard in an internment camp in Nazi Germany. But yet, although all those images of the things that happened in that book without sanctuary, and like the video I just played.
You want to play this?
Yeah, go ahead, play. Israel 1925.
True that. I agree. Some of them were.
It's an old silent film. They put music to it.
And for the record, that music is actually old too. They can't. That is over the statutes. They can't say shit. I was gonna say it, but I didn't. Right. And like the Elder Benji is saying right now, when you'll see this video, majority of these are all dark-skinned people. The majority of these dark-skinned people they will probably be Falasian Jews. They're Ethiopian Falasian Jews. They're not
Ishmaelites too,
right? Or Ishmaelites, but they're not the real Israelites. Once we were out, we were not en masse there. But I let you know that they were not Edomites there. All right. I'll pause. Give me a sec.
That lady, the third lady on the road, go back a little bit. See that garden? She got that guy sheep on, same thing Jake where what's happening. And Kazak did Kazak from Mississippi did a suit that had that sheep, had Jake originate had invented that sheep.
I can believe that.
So I believe that's a
but first of all, we were scattered abroad. So even if these are Colossian Jews, we still has the Israelites in there. Right. But the point is that in the land of the so-called what they call now Israel, back in the 20s, 30s, there was
you know why the president in 1951 said what he said.
Yes, said, come on. Gamal Nasser.
You know why he said what he said now, because these were the, at the time, were the remnant of the people that were there from the
They
ancient
left
time.
black and came back
And
white.
he's like, hold on, man. I grew up in this land. My forefathers in this land, and and the people that were in that land didn't look like you. Who the hell are you?
And another thing, this before CNN. See, they can't control it.
Well, they can, they'll block it and remove it. It's just like that speech with Nasser said that. They just block you.
Yep.
Bastards.
So because it's that's too. This is heat.
That's
This
what
is
it
heat.
is.
See that show you that we're telling you the truth.
And
They're not
some
showing.
small header that did it too. Push the button. I promise you.
No, they cut my enemy.
That's what I mean.
Oh, yeah,
It was a small header that pushed the button. I promise you.
They do this every week though.
Yeah,
Because it's too hot, brother. They're the prince of the power of the air.
But the guy that I actually had a brother from Jordan break it down. When I found the video and I played the video of the, when the president of Egypt in 1951 gave that speech about you left here black and came back white. He said you will never be accepted in this land. We can never accept you in this land, for you left here black and came back white. Who are you people? And I played it for this Arab, and for this Ishmaelite, and he broke it down. He said that's exactly what he said. And that that video, and that was around 2007. Right. That video, they removed that video from YouTube. You're not able to find it.
Yeah,
every time somebody uploads it, they take it down because it's a black and white film, and then he says it to the whole world. It was a speech that he gave, and he said it to the whole world.
Elder, remember the video that I sent you about the Mayan record books? That these are people that were so meticulous with record keeping, and then all these books got burned when the Spanish got there. Why? Because they basically gave a long and a meticulous breakdown, because they said they would document the day to day. You know what I mean?
Because we had scribes. That followed priests around.
And they knew that they came from the east. Right. That their forefathers came from the east. They were all aware. Even a lot of the Gadites were aware of that too. They knew that their people came from the east far ago.
Real quick?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. Because Jake was going in on how Esau knows who we are in the book the medieval empire of the Israelites, under the section.
I've been trying to get that book for years.
Yeah, the bar got a PDF for it. But under the section for Ecuador, there's a in the second let's see here, it's like the fifth paragraph, it says, it must be said that the problem of the South American Jewish Indians has been occupying minds in Europe since as early as the 17th century. So that's the 1600s. All right. So They've been knowing about this, man. They got up, digged up the artifacts. They found all the stones.
Scripture said he made a diligent search.
Israelite customers.
Yeah, just notice. I just said Scripture said they made a diligent search. Go ahead. That's it.
And then if you go to the end of the section, it says, I think that the descendants of the 10 tribes live not only in America, but also around the whole world. These are those Jews who have not seen the second temple. They possibly will be dispersed until the prophecies of their reunification be realized.
That's the scriptures, man.
So that's a cold cut. And I said I've been trying to get that book for years, man. Yeah, man. If I get my hands on that book,
the Wisconsin brothers got it.
I'm gonna do. They have the actual book.
The actual book, yep.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's where I got this from.
Hey, hit Atazawan so we can get the elder some excerpts out of that.
But not only does that show that they know that we're the people, but they also know about the prophecies. What the prophecy says, that the Lord was going to come back, reunify the people from among all the nations, and jack up whoever it was that was afflicting us. Like it says in Baruch, man, miserable are the cities that afflict us, man.
It was the same testimony that the Manassarite gave Francisco in their lost tribes in Promised Land. They pretty much said that in the end of days that these people will rule over all people in the world, and everybody that's ever wronged them would be judged. It's something to that effect. Go ahead, boss.
This is Sirach 4, Messiah 5. The children of sinners are abominable children, and they that are conversant in the dwelling of the ungodly. The inheritance of sinners' children shall perish, and their prosperity shall have a perpetual reproach. The children will complain of an ungodly father, because they shall be reproached for his sake. Woe be unto you, ungodly men, which have forsaken the law and Most High power. For if ye increase, it shall be to your destruction. And if ye be born, ye shall be born to a curse. And if ye die, a curse shall be your portion.
Right. So even when they admit stuff, they still don't want to admit the truth. Like Gavin's wife was sitting up there crying about how she literally crying tears. How it makes me so upset when I read about, I learn about how wrong people were, and and I'm like, with your ish self looking at us. You right. You ain't gave up. You ain't went into your bank account.
Right.
You're right. You ain't went into your jewelry box. You ain't gave up no property. You so sorry. It's like that one comedian said how he said, I like it how you Canadians have Observance Day, and he did the whole joke about how he opens up his house and yells out his window to the natives, thank you for this house. It rocks. It's really cool in here. No, you can't come in.
Right.
Real quick.
He got one too.
That's what he just read.
Oh, which was Rock?
Yeah, Sirach just read.
He just read it. The man that spirit. Hey,
I got some real quick.
there you go.
This second Thessalonians.
They got something, bro.
Psalm 64 and 6. We search out iniquities, the comments of diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. For the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow, suddenly they shall be wounded. So they shall make their own tongues to fall upon themselves. All their seasons shall flee away. All right, and we know Esau, he's wiser than Daniel, but Esau search these things out, man. All right, he had archaeologists on all these continents digging up historical artifacts and pottery and
like even in this video, they show you Absalom's temple, his grave, but then they tell you that Solomon don't exist, that these were fictional characters, but the scriptures also talk about how they dug up the bones of the prophets, which goes into them hiding the history. But like you said, they know they dug it all up and they fucking either destroyed it or hid it into their secret.
I got an image of in my phone.
Uprising by the Kikuyu people.
I got an image in my phone of the father of Egyptology, Edomite, standing proudly like Captain Morgan on the head of a gigantic head of a Hamite with his big wide nose and his thick lips. And basically, it's signifying that we covered this history up. That the hell with this history. It's our history because they taught. There's a video where I just did a video about it where these two doctors, two Jake doctors from West Africa, had a sit down against 18 Edomite scholars and they smashed them. All right, and basically proved that Egypt was full of dark people. It always was until the time of Alexander. And so what Esau does is that they'll take that time of Alexander and Ptolemy was ruling.
Right.
All right, and then they'll act and they'll show you images from that time period.
With the
noses. Because it's true. White people did rule Europe, but after the fact. Did rule Europe too, but they did rule Egypt, but that was after the fact. And his whole argument was that because they teach this theory that all these white people came in and built all these pyramids, all right, but they never built no pyramids nowhere else in the world.
Right.
So why did you just come into you weren't from there, but you came in and built all these pyramids, but you never built no pyramids anywhere else. But guess who did build pyramids that were the same exact measurements as the ones that were over there in North Africa?
Northern and Southern.
The same people that built them in all throughout the Americas.
Is that if you go to America, if you go to Europe during the time of the so-called quote unquote dark ages, you'll find pyramids and mounds that are indicative of the original pyramids. If you come over here in South America, you'll find pyramids and mounds. I'm not just in so-called Mexico land, Aztec.
Even in some parts of America too.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
I was just going to say,
Yes.
the pyramid, one of the largest, is in Illinois.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's huge as fuck.
Exactly. And they're all throughout because we built them and we did it for multiple reasons. One part to for storing grains and food and so forth, also for protection and things of that nature, man.
And also because Jake was worshiping them damn stars.
True that too.
They got them in China, underground water in China. They found pyramids.
Yeah, that's what moving the mummy theories about.
That was all Jake.
Yeah,
I would play the sketch, but I'm not gonna play it before they don't copyright shit.
Right.
But check out this Richard Pryor show.
You could definitely claim
Richard Pryor?
the UCC
It's
Fair
for
Use
teaching
Act.
purposes.
Fair Use Act.
Yeah, right. And we use this on Fair Use
Matter of
Act.
fact, I'll go find it and read it.
Yeah.
So we'll make it official.
Right, because that's why Louis C.K. said what he said, because according to the present day knowledge, in his mind, an Edomite can travel any time back in time, and he believes they've always been in the Dominion. That's
Right,
why,
which is not true at all.
right, which is why when they use Alexander as the example, and they use those different pictures, they see it's always been a struggle between white and blacks, but really, those depictions, again, only precede Alexander, and they're on forward, but you won't have anything before, and that's because all the evidence before was against them, to show that it was dark-skinned people, or it was indigenous people, just like when they were just looking at the way that in Central South America the custom of to bury the dead, they said, look, this is indicative of the Israelites. Okay, they have the same pattern because Esau was killing them in mass numbers, man. The point is when they wouldn't be able to dig up these mass graves, they're like, look, there's only another set of people that do it like this, and it was Jake.
You can find no mounds in also in West Africa, mounds and the small pyramids.
Yeah, no, where Jake was after Roman persecution.
Absolutely. I'm gonna read this disclaimer now.
Probably sure.
Go ahead, brother.
This Genesis 27. This is the back of Brother Ariella. Genesis 27 and 39. Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And this goes with what the brother Ariella was saying, because before Edom got power, they were under our captivity. Judah had Edom under captivity. All right, and so one of his sons, they went to wipe out the males of Edom, but it wasn't time for Edom to be destroyed. So prophecy got fulfilled. One of the sons in the Jew that was with him, they ran and escaped to Egypt. Right. And after that, they got loose from under Judah's dominion, and then they start to rise and climb to power, man. If you read the rest of Esther, they was trying to they were trying to take over Persia. They didn't accomplish that until Macedonia and Greece.
Exactly.
Right, but before that, you was in servitude, and you're going back to servitude.
During the Dark Ages too. During the Dark Ages, they were the serfs. They were the serfs and the servants and the dead.
That's the revelation.
That was them, the wild men.
Yep. All right. That's your revelation prophecy of Satan been locked up for 1,000 years. That Satan is talking about Edom. And your prison was the Caucasus Mountains. All right, you got tired of Jake having to feed up your ass. So y'all went here into the Caucasus Mountains, man, until your 1,000 years was up.
Yeah, you got those different German tapestry was showing Esau coming down out of the mountains, out of the forest, attacking castles in Germany with black people in them. Yeah. All right, and those were from the 1300, 14, 1500s, these different tapestries.
That'd be 1,000 years been up. Right.
So, real quick before we play that, this is the copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act. 1976 allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit educational or personal use tips balance in favor of fair use. You can play that video and they can't do a damn thing.
I got it open. Good heavens, man. Great Scott, we discovered the fountain of all knowledge. knowledge of Egypt and the entire world, do you realize the importance of this moment, Smitty? Do you see brilliancy? The untold
That's Robin
years
Williams.
from
He got on the ground too.
That's his message. Thank you so much. Thank you. What is this? See. Says. This is the elixir of life, sir. Elixir of life? The cure for all diseases. See. Wait, here's the inscription. What was it? This can't be. What? You know what this is? What is it, Buddha? It's the book of life. In the beginning, when man arrived on earth, the black gods did leave their spacecraft and they walked and they named the beast of the sea and the animals of the land. And man in his blackness did walk the earth. Medicine, they discovered type. These are all black people got down. This ain't nothing about money. This is ours. The brothers hear this. What you mean? Started the music and brain surgery back in the year 3 BC. Man, they was getting down. This is it, brother. Everybody want to know about this. Listen, we can change the history. Civilization will change. Yeah. It's gonna be it. Get the bulldozers. There's nothing here. Shut up. Oh, heavens, time to tea, eh?
I know exactly. It does shit like not exactly like that, but it does.
No, exactly like that.
So
No.
and they
They
make
don't-
comedy out of something that's scarily that's very true. You know?
Yeah.
Bring it out, brother.
This 2 Thessalonians 2:3, let no man deceive you by any means, but that day shall not come except there come and follow away first. Like Yahweh was bringing it out, we went through that falling away, and now we get it brought back. And these Edomites been deceived and been lying for a long time, but now he's being revealed. And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. So now he's being revealed as who he is. The devil, man. The devil is deceiver. This man been lying to the whole world, even in that clip that y'all just showed. You know, he been the deceiver and lying to people, man.
And Richard Pryor knows the truth. He's plugged in. He's an Eastern. Believe it or not, males can be Eastern Star. He's an Eastern Star, man. So he knows all the secrets and shit. And he knows who we are and everything. You know.
Hey, jump down to verse 7, time.
It's on verse 7. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord Yahweh shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose soul cometh is after the work of Satan, with all power and sign and lying wonders, and with all deceitfulness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved.
It's all deceitfulness. That's what he's about.
Yeah.
You know, it said after 1,000 years, Satan shall be released to deceive the nations. So that's what he's been doing. You know, he's been Job now 24. The earth is given to the hands of the wicked. He covered the face of the judges thereof. If not, wherever her wisdom.
Isaiah 25:7.
He's been covering those faces, man. Perfect. Isaiah 25:7. He's the whole world think this man, like he said, Whitey. He think Whitey was back at start of civilization, was the start of wisdom, the start of the art, That was no art during the Dark Ages.
When he got into power, he pushed that narrative. He pushed that falsehood.
That's right. So
and now we live in the information age, and it's all coming out. Man.
So throughout all history, you can find artwork on walls, artwork on pottery. But during the Dark Ages, niggas just stopped. And humans just said no art.
That's right. And you know what? I use the same thing which is bullshit, because you go back there, it's nothing but art. And that's the reason why they won't let you go into certain castles, because they don't want you to go in certain castles. Why would you tell somebody you can come up here and see the outside, but you can't come inside? When some castles you can come inside, because what's inside is going to be too damning, and they don't want to destroy it because Esau's that fucking wicked.
Statues all on the buildings.
Yeah. Come on.
In Europe, man, they got paintings there. What about the Black Madonna? Of course, it's an idol. But that's before the Renaissance.
That's it.
And the Pope still bows and prays to that.
To this
so
day.
How are you going to go and say the Dark Ages because there was no art? That's bullshit.
And then if you go over to northwest to central Egypt, I mean not Egypt, but Africa, you're telling me hundreds of millions of so-called Negroes got on slave ships. Where is the artifacts of 100 million Israelites, niggas, living in north to northwest Egypt, combs, this and that? Or we just had a whole bunch of people just ooking and booking in the jungle? No, man, they had the Fort Judah, they had Fort Levi, they had
I got images of nothing but castles.
That's right, Negro land.
There's castles all over North Africa.
Come on, man.
There were castles all down into to West Africa. It wasn't as many, but there were still castles all throughout there.
Mansa Musa.
And that goes to show you, because what I've learned through these studies is that when a people get conquered, their way of building ceases to be. And that's why you see more of the Mount Seir type construction here in America. But I got a whole phone full of images of all the different castles that were all throughout North and West Africa.
And just to further back you up on that, I do have a precept too. It was 2 points. With the building, with the infrastructure. Esau does this. This is how they prove,
that map shows a lot
as far as migration goes, what people went from this place to that place. Like the Hyksos. I was watching a documentary, and it was like, well, when they came, you can tell how they built everything. It was based off the people from this region of we come from Israel. And Esau tells you that. So the castles that we see in Europe, why do they have that same infrastructure here?
Come on.
But why when you look around the country, you see those Roman pillars. You drive down Lakeshore Drive, you come into the hood because you start seeing those Roman pillars from Soldier Field.
Yeah.
All right.
To the art museum, to Soldier Field, and all the shit.
All the political buildings, the libraries, the museums, a lot of the older schools, even a lot of the bigger homes. They build with those column types. A lot of those colonial homes and those French colonial homes, plantation homes.
But you also find that, not just in Rome, you find that in Mount Petra.
That's it.
All right, with the eagle, with those same columns.
Oh, man, that's a guy that just broke that down. Ooh, let me see if I can find it.
While you're getting that, I got to highlight their brother Kowal right here. That was from Evanston. And then the brother Shafia. They did an excellent lesson because Shafia was over in Portugal and Europe. And he goes, periodically here and there when he gets time to go. And he brings all these pictures and all these evidences. And then he goes to these different castles. And he did a lesson. And this brother, they did an excellent lesson on it. And it was just showing all the pictures and then the framework. You want to follow Esau? Follow Esau back to Petra, to Rome, to America. It has nothing to do with so-called Europe. They were not there. Go ahead, brother.
They were not ruling.
They were not ruling. That's right. You're right. They were not ruling.
After the fall of Rome, and it became the Holy Roman Empire.
That's it.
Esau look up the catacombs.
That's it.
That was niggas.
That's it.
And there's the Byzantine Empire. That's what you want to call it. Google the Byzantine Empire. Look at the artifacts. And that's going to tell you. That's when Jake took over, man.
Constantinople to all on the way down.
And that's basically the start of your 1,000 years.
There you go.
And taken out the way, man.
And when you look at the architect of the castles, a lot of the castles,
everything you just said is about to be displayed.
Stone. It's built with unhewn stone. You look at the side of the castle, the way it's built, all the stones are different different sizes.
Because they didn't cut.
They didn't cut.
They didn't do the hewn stone. We didn't build with hewn stones. That's the way the castles were built. They weren't built with hewn stones. So that even though it all turns out evil, even all the stones are not evil. All right.
You got big ones, little ones.
Yeah, but
they
exactly
a lot of concrete to put it all together.
They got
kind of bring it out and then play that video.
We're Solomon 2 and 9. Let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness.
Yeah.
Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place. This is our portion in a lot of this. You can tell where Esau been by the way they've been setting up their infrastructure, man. For the pillars and the high rises and things like that.
Yeah, with this video he's about to play, and everything you said is displayed in then some. There's some pertinent information in here. A couple golden nuggets he dropped. I was gonna actually do a response to this when I came across it. But this is some heavy info that all Israel, everybody that's watching, needs to see.
I'm gonna set. I put it on. I took the share it off the screen. I'm gonna set it up and then I'm gonna share the screen back. Just
While you're going out, can I read this?
Go ahead.
This Psalms 58 and 1. To the chief musicians, authorship, the mission of David. Do ye indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do ye judge uprightly, O ye sons of men? Yet in heart ye work wickedness. You weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. The wicked are restrained from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. And even in what Big I brought up that Wisdom Solomon 2, it mentions how Esau hates that we come with the truth because we speak against, what they say, the infamy of his education. All right, because they know they teach lies, man, but that's how you stay in power. You got to make yourself appear great.
Right.
That's what they have to do because
that's why they use the media to constantly put Jake's face in it as the bad guy and the problem in society.
That's right.
Meanwhile, that's far from the case.
Yeah, the scriptures say Satan made himself as an angel of light.
For my investigation,
he put himself up on the level, man. But it's all lies.
Okay, I'm gonna press play now.
All I'm gonna tell you now is enjoy.
Shalom, Israel. So, okay, I made this little. I call it the dossier because I put it together kind of for my investigation on who is Israel, who is Edom. If I was like, let's say, to present this to the United Nations, I wanted things together in a good form. So this is Edom, okay? Well, this is Mount Seir right here, right? Now, I want you to note that as I was looking through documentaries on Neanderthal, I ended up finding that there is basically a treasure trove of Neanderthal bones in this location. Also found in this location was this eagle of Edom, okay? Now, I also want you to take note that the eagle ends up also carried off to Greece, and they called it the eagle of Zeus. Now, I also found that Esau, the founder of this place, he ends up being called Esus at a point in history, okay? Now, from that point, they end up changing that name to Zeus, okay? Now you end up back at the Isus, and this is where the Jesus name ends up coming from, all right? So we can track the eagle from this location, right there. We then can track it to Greece, and then we track it where? To Rome. You get what I'm saying? Now, after Rome collapses, we see that England picks up that same eagle, and then so does America. So we can see a clear path there. Also remember that the Neanderthal bones were found in this location.
This is why they want TikTok off the air.
The same construction style ends up following.
Everything you just said is being brought forth. You see the same construction style, but the part that was really killer was the Neanderthal bones found inside of the cave.
So easy a caveman can do it.
So easy a caveman can do it. So they try to So they try to come with that lie that the cavemen. That was 10,000 years ago, brother. No. That was during the Dark Ages. All right. So let it finish. It's just a few more seconds left.
From Mount Seir to the White House. And you also, this is where you put the Jews, make them fight each other so you can get paid off of it. This is where you put the Jews so they can fight each other so you can get paid off of it. Okay. So, no new thing under the sun. Make sure that you also see Obadiah so that some of this stuff can tie together. But I want you to see how it says, the pride in thine heart has deceived thee, thou who dwells in the clefts of the rock. What rock? That rock, because they're from Mount Seir. Now, who is it that would dwell in the clefts of the rock? Well, a caveman, or the Neanderthal. The Neanderthal was covered in hair all over his body, okay? So this is one way that you can kind of figure that out to make that attachment. Also here in Genesis 25:25, and the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Why would he come out hairy all over? Maybe because Isaac wasn't his real daddy.
Now he went off. Now he went off right there.
Esau wasn't hairy.
Now, I'm gonna get into this more.
Yeah, he went off with that right there.
That's a stepdaddy, whatever. I understand this is new to a lot of you guys.
Okay, so we can stop it right there. Yeah, because he went off. But that golden nugget with the Neanderthal bones,
right?
And that connection to that eagle to Zeus,
and also just the what you call it, the architectural structures, even like the brother Kowal,
because they no scripture to substantiate or no history to back up that Isaac had his father set him up to be a baby daddy. Or to be a stepdaddy.
That's ridiculous,
right? Esau twins.
Exactly. So he right, and he said, I know this is new, so that means he's also reading some other books.
Ever learn and never come to
exactly.
The truth. But good job on the Esau shit. Hey, this is Job 30:1. But now they that are younger than I have been derision. All right, now younger means is significant. Whose fathers I will have disdain to have set with the dogs of my flock. Esau's a base man. You won't even want to run your damn dogs. It's a run-on joke. If you watch Edomite comedies and shit like that, they love the peanut butter dog joke. They love it. Yep. Starting with Road Trip, on down to I think it's Office Space. It's just weird, man.
2.5 men.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. Yeah, well, they're not playing. They really
that's my point.
Because it was one bitch, I think it was like World Star. She was somebody like the look. They have dildos that shape like different animals. They got a lot of. It's a whole weird section, bro.
Yeah, they got dildos for children. So I
dildos.
Demon dildos.
Yeah, it's weird, bro. So
I was watching a TikTok video on the Edomite lady. She was letting her horse lick her whole neck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And the commentary, the voiceover, he said, when people say this is some white people shit, this is what they're talking about.
Yep.
Damn.
Back in Job 30:2. Yeah. Whereto might the strength of their hands profit me and whom O Abram perish. For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness in former time, desolate and waste. Because people they was been put in hard trouble, man. Jacob was taking their women and fucking them Edomite men up during the Dark Ages. So they ran into the wilderness to flee away. We ain't dealing with this shit. Who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat?
Question
those caves.
Hey,
they were
it's like if I just saying the Juniper. I was watching one show. I can't remember what it was, and the Edomite went and told somebody else about the junipers. No, this is how you prepare the junipers. You need to do this, and that. And they had a whole breakdown of junipers, and that just made me think.
That's what gin is made up of.
Yeah.
Mostly, you know, you like gin. Gin is the main ingredient in gin is juniper roots.
Yes, that's the best part of the gin. Juniper is good for you.
You go up north too. You go up north, you can go to Walgreens over here on the south side or something, and you go to like a body wash and soaps and stuff, and it's like, it's regular Axe and stuff, but you go to north side, it's like Juniper body wash, Juniper body spray.
Yeah, so like we like cocoa butter,
and they like
coconut oil and
shea butter and all that. Right. These niggas are all in the Juniper and shit. That's why I was laughing, because I'm like, Esau breaking down. No, this is how you do the Juniper. You do this, you do a lot, you do this. I'm like, that he know this shit.
They like this shit.
Who cut up mallows by the bush to juniper roots for that meat? Meaning they was forced on the low level dive because they was in the caves.
That's right.
They were rich. So don't feel bad, brothers. Look, juniper is not exclusively for Edom.
That's right.
Somebody in the video, I like juniper.
It's ours, man.
That kept them alive because they had to be preserved to rise back up again this last time.
Yeah, and I always say that, this is the reason why they came at Jake so hard the second time around, and then hid who we were, because this was, you have to understand, man. We when I say Israel, but mainly the Southern Kingdom was responsible for the destruction of their precious Rome.
Yep.
All right, and I'm looking at that comment. You know, the people that with the Germanic tribes, you know, that comment that Miss Kika P put up, those Germans were dark fleshed people at that time.
Yep.
All right, they weren't pale people. All right, that's just a fact. All right, and the evidence of them being there during the Dark Ages, well, the images are still there. But continue, Brother Bakusha.
They were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in caves of the earth, and in the rocks. And that's the Caucasus Mountains. Edom was ran off and chased. That's where they hear that, in the Caucasus Mountains. Among the bushes they brayed, under the nettles they were gathered together. And that goes to the damn Neanderthal shit, man. Right. Esau grunt and all that shit. And the Lord humbled him, just like he did Nebuchadnezzar. Esau, Edom is basically Nebuchadnezzar, because they are the king of Babylon. They went from rulership to turn into fucking base animals back to rulership.
Yep.
All right.
That's why he said he set up over at the basis of men.
That's the next line. They were children of fools, yeah. Children of base men. They were viler than the earth. And who's more vile than this devil, man? All right. Yeah. Look the Elder Malcolm started off with that video. Taking sand and sticking up somebody's butt. That shit don't make sense.
Yeah,
who would think of that shit?
Who would think of that? That video that Elder Corral had brought out some years back when that broad was bending over for the pig. With her little funny looking, her and her husband is watching her get done by ponies and pigs and shit.
It was like the documentary where it was Edomite male,
and the dude got banged by a pony too.
Yeah,
he died.
The one dude got fucked up by the pig, but it was a video.
What the?
Edom weird, bro. But
damn,
it was this couple. They met online. And they started off the fact that she had a horse that she liked sexually, and she was talking to him about this horse, which he ended up liking too. And then she somehow she didn't know if it was real. He really liked this horse. And they met up, and now they basically have 3 ways to this horse or whatever weird love triangle.
Now the horse got to get put to death because they
that's just how Edom gets down. Man, he's vowed, the most vowed.
Oh yeah. He was like, "This is the woman of my dreams" or something.
Yeah, that's
Damn, you sucking off your horse? I love you. What?
Yeah, but then he goes, my turn, let me do it. They both just sucking off big horse sperm.
Sick as fuck.
Ecclesiastes 4:13. You're like jackass. They drink the damn. That's to drink the sperm. They jack the damn thing off, then drink it.
That's why I was trying to say, Hercules, they spirit not right, isn't it?
Yeah, bro. You watch Tom Green and shit, the little weird shit he did. Oh, Edom only do that shit, man.
That's why they say don't go to sleep around your wife, friend.
Well, no, you can't, because they do that. Yeah, they love it. They teabag. They take pictures with their dick on your lips.
I seen one
video. They stick stuff up your butt. And that's jokes. Hey, but then what's fuck? When you go with a nigga, you gotta doubt because of that. You know, you got to. Well, Edom, they wake up and laugh about it. I'm going to get you next time.
Somebody put the video in the room on how an Edomite.
That's their mission.
I'm going to out-gay you.
Yeah,
right. It's an Edomite in the pond, and he just taking a big ass shit in the pond. And then the next thing is another bitch in the same pond drinking the water, but then upstream is an Edomite peeing in the water, and she's up there. Why he peeing in the water? It's like Esau is done.
Esau
They're nasty.
bitches the shit on them.
They're nasty.
Esau, Shiza. This is Ecclesiastes 4:13.
They sick.
Man, ain't right.
Yeah.
But this is the work. But hey, this is the same place in Salakia. This is the same motherfucking place to say, hey, you can have you a dog or an animal, but if you don't neuter him, I'm going to take him from you. You know what I'm saying? This place is wicked. All their what they come up with, they can't go to sleep without coming up with another way of vexing a Jake with some abominable shit. This is an abominable place.
It says the ruler set up, or it said the children of fools. Then in the New Testament, it said that the Lord said this last world, is just a world of this foolishness. That's it. Because the leaders just go back to the evil.
Hey, this is Ecclesiastes 4:13. Better is a poor and wise child than an old and foolish king who will no more be admonished. And that Psalms goes to how he's a deaf adder, he stopped with his ear. And he sounds like the correct way. He's just, his heart is not right. For out of prison, he coming to reign. Right out the caucus mouse, he got out, got the papacy instantly.
What was it?
That nigga Esau moved quick to take control of the damn Pope seat, man.
Catholic Church,
Yeah. And then he got control of what happened with that. The Catholic Church at one point was more powerful than the rulers of the country. Yeah, than the king. All right, so he got control of that. He started making policies, funding shit the way he wanted to fund it, and now we here. Out of prison, he coming to reign, whereas also he that born in his kingdom becoming poor. And welcome to where we at now. The economy's crashing and you're going down, man. The Lord said that you will build, but I will throw down.
That's right.
That's
right. Matter of fact, we never did get that Isaiah 25:7. Somebody can read that.
It's Isaiah chapter 25, verse 7. And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people.
Right. So they cast these coverings over the nations, and then they use in color. They use color, not acknowledging the migration patterns, not acknowledging that there's no such thing as mixed people. Yeah, right. That whatever the man is, that's what the child is, regardless of their outward appearance. They just came with a bunch of lies, which was a covering cast. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
It says, and the veil that is spread over all nations.
And see, that veil has been lifted, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Al-Shai, through great men, elders before us, that all these things were revealed through the spirit, man. And you got people that have come up against the 12 tribe chart, but the 12 tribe chart matches with prophecy solid, right? 100%. All right, it matches with prophecy, and when you get to know and be around the people, each description of the tribes is just, man, you can't tell me I'm not Reuben, man. I was unstable majority of my life, man. All right, but loyal as fuck.
Yeah.
All right, always live my life with a certain set of honor and principles, man.
Like this time, they damn country symbol is a donkey. Everybody jokes about how they work hard and shit. They do 18-hour shifts, go drink cervezas for fucking 4 hours, sleep for 2, and go right back to fucking work. Man. That's Issachar. He's a strong ass.
Also Zebulon,
Panama Canal,
man. Come on. That land, the Zebulon land in Israel is landlocked. I mean, come on, that prophecy just for that is talking about over here, man.
Right. And then then did Gad not get taken down by troops? Right.
And Gad is gonna wake up and mash.
It's the water, Yahweh Bashem Al-Shai. Gadites are starting to wake up. They really been the last tribe we've been waiting on.
Just the word I'm saying.
Gad is they're the last because the rest of the tribes they're dealing.
But it's
Gad is the last one. Gad's still fighting. We the spirit people. We're the great spirit.
Yesterday.
But a lot of Gadites are starting to wake up now.
A lot of Gadites look like Judah.
Well, that too.
Mm-hmm. See, but you remember how when we first came in, we used to lament about the Northern Kingdom.
Yeah,
we lament. Yes. We was to the point where we was like, man, where's the Northern Kingdom? We can't wait because there was hardly any Northern Kingdom in there. Rapalia was the only Northern Kingdom that we kind of had on lock. You know what I'm saying? For a minute, it was like, what the fuck? And then next thing you know, they came in flux. I'm like, bam! They came in. They was coming in out the woodworks. Started with this, but here in Chicago with Ariella and his cousin at the time. You know what I'm saying? And then it blew up. But now the scripture says at the end, Gad is going to overcome them. They're the Gadites. They got to come up.
Now you got Northern Kingdom brothers all over the globe,
right? So now Gad's
different camps all in southern. I mean, even you got Northern Kingdom brothers in a wicked ass Legion of Doom camp.
That's it.
All down in Mexico. You got dudes in the wrestling outfits, down in Mexico, wearing they leather studs and
And don't forget about the Latino only.
Them cats out, them dudes out in Colorado and down there south of what's that area? That area the south of Colorado Springs, right before you get to no. It's south of Colorado Springs is south of Denver. It's south of Colorado Springs, about an hour away, and I can't think of the name of it right now. But you got a huge group of Northern Kingdom Israelites down there that they're not Judah. You know, it's only the Negroes are Hamites. Only the Northern Kingdom.
Right.
Yeah, they Canaanites. Only the Latins and the natives are Israelites. So it bugged out dudes. So it's the same bullshit that with the Judites with the black only. So all them clowns gonna die together, man.
And wait till Gad wake up in mass, man. Because that when Gad wake up in mass, I mean that's finito. They're already waking up, but it's
and they're one of the warrior tribes in the script, you know, and a lot of them are angry and want to get back at Esau. But once they get past, because they fell for the lies that Esau taught them about their own history.
We all did.
You know, just like them brothers that fell for that Egyptology shit.
Yeah.
They fell for the lies that Esau taught them, trying to describe to them who they were to prevent them from knowing who they really are.
That's it.
This Proverbs 12 and 19 says, "The lip of truth shall be established forever, but a lying tongue is but for a moment." So your lies are up, being exposed again. That's the sign of your downfall.
Another, you got a lot of people waking up in the Philippines.
Yeah, you got Israelite foreigners all over the world now. That as well, brother. Con.
They got that.
Go ahead, brother.
For this Ecclesiastes 10 and 16. Woe to thee, O land, when thy king is a child, thy prince is in the morning, man, and we're being ruled by the lowest of the people, you know, and everybody's starting to see that the rulership is actually destroying not only here but all across the damn globe, man. If you go down to verse 17, it says, "Blessed art thou, O land, when thy king is the son of nobles." All right, and I'm gonna read it further, but we're looking for a transfer of rulership. All right, for the real nobility to rise and take control of this place, right?
Got to count, brother. Right. Yeah, we can't wait, man. People are hurting, man. You know, people are sighing and crying. You know, I mean, it's often we just break out in tears, man.
Man, out of blue,
because you're just angry, you know.
Sometimes you can see it coming, just like what the fuck am I weeping for?
Yeah, I started watching a video and our brother say something, you know, and it just breaks me down, man.
That's it.
Because we truly are, you know, it said that they will grab the scripture, they will wear out the saints.
That's right.
And then whatever you got, Cop will bring it out while they're looking for it. But we truly are worn out, man. And we're so disgusted with the wickedness that's you know that we're forced to live with on a daily basis, man. And these infirmities, these weak bodies that are constantly getting bombarded with chemicals and stuff that these self-proclaimed white people are forcing upon us by putting it in the food, man. You know, because a lot of European nations, even the Edomites over there, don't allow a lot of that shit. You know, they don't allow a lot of those chemicals over there, so they're not as sickly as American. I just watched a video where a Nigerian chick was talking about how big her family was and how none of them have allergies except for the ones that come over here. Like they say, nobody's got allergies and gets clogged up nose and a teary eye. It only happens when
and vaccine.
This is Romans 8. This is Romans 8:22. For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. And not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit. Even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit the redemption of our body. Everything. We all sighing and crying, man. You know. We have the Spirit, man, the first fruits of the Spirit, man. You know, we got a slight download, man. You know, and when the Lord changes us in the twinkling of an eye, man, we're not gonna have the Spirit by measure. You know, brothers is getting worn out, man.
See, you got the right Kika can't help herself, man.
So off.
She often, but she's on point on that when she says truth. You know, we were speaking about the food, the chemicals in the food. They're not as sickly as we are over there because they don't allow a lot of those chemicals and stuff. You know, in those different European countries, man.
The people on social media, there'll be certain people that are global that'll try certain snacks or American snacks that are popular here. They're not even allowed because of the ingredients there. So they're like, oh, we couldn't get this because some of the ingredients are against. So they basically show you how they have these same products in other parts of the country that nowhere nearly have enough bullshit like they do here.
Hey, brother, let me tell you something. McDonald's menu in America is not McDonald's menu in other places because they will not let them put that bullshit over there. Esau gets away over here when he gets away over here because his end job is to kill the Israelites.
Right, exactly. And this is the biggest collection where all 12 tribes are. And the truth was coming out here. And you know, and like you said, these people are just extra wicked. It's funny that we were talking about that on the way over here. Me and Pop was talking. We thought, hey, going to McDonald's was like going to Portillo's back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, it was really, that's how good it was.
The quarter pounder,
you know,
quarter pounder was always on point.
Yeah, that shit today. Yeah, it was
so funny. That was actually a real beat.
You know,
other shit.
Yeah, real fries, damn cherry pies. I'm telling you, man, McDonald's was like going, you know, going back to the 70s, and then it really started getting crappy in the mid 80s. That's when it started changing.
And that's how
you know
you did that joke talking about this ain't McDonald's.
It's McDonald's.
I want McDonald's.
All right, I talk about this video game. It's called Destroy All Humans. And the video game is actually based in the 80s. And they say that your own fucking people, the alien was complaining. He was like, what the fuck? Your own people killing you to make you stupid. The food make you dumb. The TV, it used all to keep you stupid. You know, they poison the food. God damn it, they use the TV. They put chemicals in it so you'll be most susceptible to the fucking television, and they put it right in your face. And then at the end of the motherfucking game, they show you that he was telling people, the government, oh, take this, do this. You know, it's cleansing you of a sickness.
And he was making you sick all along.
No, he was killing them. He said
that's what I mean.
Yeah. No, but he was literally just killing them. But it was some sickness, but they made him walk in this machine that was supposed to heal everybody, but it was just
killing them right away.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
well, he basically instead of them dying slow, he was killing them
he
fast.
He was just killing them. Yeah. But they show you that Esau always he put the shit in his video games. The message Esau message don't change, man. Yeah, this dude is about
like Raccoon City and Corona. You know, that shit blew me when you know.
Look at the movie Logan. They said we put poison in the snacks and stuff to kill off the mutants. So,
even the Kings when they said
we all know who the real mutants are because we're all waiting on that 1 Corinthians 15 chapter. Matter of fact, we're gonna close with that. Get that 1 Corinthians 15, like verse 41 and somewhere around there. And then what was that other scripture? How we wore out.
If you look at the Kingsmen, they show you how they put human meat in a lot of these restaurants. It's actually and brothers have done it, and people in the world, men of the Lord, have both did reports on how there's not enough motherfucking cows, not enough motherfucking goats, not enough motherfucking deer, not enough motherfucking bison, or nothing to have as much meat the earth is consuming right now. Mike McDonald's, every time you pass their golden arches, they'll say over 1 billion fucking served. All right, they've been giving you a whole bunch of people. They've been feeding you horses. They've been feeding you all kinds of everything.
Right. All those missing children that begin sacrificed for adrenochrome and all the other bullshit that they try to deny, even though there's a mountain of evidence to prove that it's true. You know, it's just like in those couple movies. You know, what was that in? Was that one? I think it was the one. It was Snatch when he said, "Beware of gangsters with pig farms." Yeah. Yes. And then that other movie, he shows you that in one of the Hannibal movies. You know, how he was using pigs to get rid of bodies, and he broke it down how pigs can get rid of a human body in like in like 2 to 4 minutes.
You gotta take away his teeth.
And this they'll leave nothing behind.
In that movie,
They even eat the bones.
In the movie 999, they were dropping off the dead bodies to the car's eyes.
Yeah, and they were taking them right into the meat factory. What do you think they were doing with them? All right, they would get mixed right in with the beef and everything else. All right, and then you had that one rabbi that came on and said, "We've been telling you, but y'all don't want to even listen to it." My man Rabbi Finkelstein, he broke it down.
You don't want to believe us.
What
is in the breakfast sausage?
They don't give a shit. They eat human meat.
Well, that's how you know. But you know what? It also makes sense. You know, when everybody took the BAM, you know, you know, when they turn up that 5G, you know, they just started right, and then all of a sudden they started, you know, biting their neighbor. So, but they didn't bring out those scriptures about the shot.
Let's look at Daniel chapter 7 and verse 25. It says, "And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until the time and times and the dividing of time."
Right, and we're at that dividing of times. The water, Yahweh Shalom. Yeah, because it's been a long time coming, man. All right, and now and for the last one, Dr. Bishop.
This is 1 Corinthians 15 and 50. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of the Most High, neither doth corruption inherit incorruption. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality.
There it is, man. So we waiting for those immortal bodies, man. All right, become the true X-Men. All right, and then they're not going to be able to put the poison in the snacks to kill the X gene. All right.
And Esau knows that is true because that's why he put all these superhuman
That's why so many
movies and shit. Yeah,
right.
That was that redacted.
You're gonna have all these bright burns and black Adams around us.
That's right.
Anyway, we're gonna give all praises, honor, and glory
unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
Wow, Baba Ball.
Baba Ball.
Turn those machines back on.